the abyss rose and shattered our world.
Cities drowned. Nations collapsed.
Every battle cost us millions, and still, we lost. Fear became our shadow, despair our only companion. Hope was buried, but not forever. We forged steel into giants. The vanguards were born. Pilots chosen not for power, but for sacrifice.
Against the tide of monsters, humanity stood once more.
The jungle hid secrets, darker than the ocean itself.
Shadows moved. Eyes glowed between the trees. They struck without warning, serpents of nightmare. Our mechs fell one by one, swallowed whole. Every scream, another soul devoured by the dark. Yet we fought with fury, with fire. The jungle burned, but the serpents endured. Victory was an illusion. Survival, the only truth. Fog crawled over the ruins, a shroud for death. Shapes moved unseen, too fast for human eyes. Every step deeper, the air grew heavier. Something stalked us, something ancient. Serpents hissed in silence, circling the prey. Armor cracked, faith shattered.
The fog itself seemed alive, whispering our names.
We realized this was no mere battle. It was a ritual, written in blood and fire. The jungle bowed to a greater terror.
The ground trembled, as if the world itself feared.
From the abyss, something vast began to stir. A shadow stretched across the horizon. The Titan Serpent awakened. Scales like armor, eyes burning with ancient fire. Not beast, not god, but something beyond both. It had watched us for centuries, waiting. Every serpent we faced, only fragments of its will. And humanity stood at the edge of extinction. broken, yet unyielding. The vanguards rose, blades of steel against eternity.
Every strike, a prayer against the abyss.
The Titan struck. Cities crumbled in seconds. Fire and fury, yet we did not fall.
Every pilot knew this was the final dawn.
One chance remained. One strike to end it all.
We chose to fight, not to survive, but to defy.
If this was humanity's last breath, it would be fearless. The silence after battle, heavier than any roar.
Ash fell like snow over the graves of giants.
Names were forgotten, but their sacrifice remained.
Each fallen pilot carved a path for the living.
We buried steel and blood, side by side. The Titan still moved, restless, undefeated. But in its shadow, sparks of defiance grew. New vanguards rose, built from ashes of the old.
Pilots stepped forward, knowing death awaited.
For in defiance, we found a reason to fight again.
Whispers became voices. Voices became a roar.
The scattered clans of steel gathered once more. Weapons were reforged, sharper than before. Old banners were raised against the dying light. Even broken machines found purpose again. The Titan turned its gaze, sensing rebellion stir. Fear spread like fire, but so did courage.
The skies trembled as destiny approached.
One chance remained to strike the impossible.
And so, humanity prepared for its final storm.
Dawn broke, and the earth shook with anticipation. Armies of men and steel marched as one.
Engines screamed like beasts unleashed.
The Titan rose, casting shadow across nations.
Its roar split the heavens, shaking all who dared stand.
But no one fled, not this time. Blades met steel, fire lit the skies. The first strike landed, echoing like thunder. and despair collided in blinding light. The final war had begun. Steel shattered and flesh followed.
Every strike carved both victory and loss.
The Titan raged, unstoppable, unrelenting. Its claws tore through cities like paper. Heroes fell, one by one. Blood staved the ground, thicker than rain.
Yet still, no one surrendered.
Sacrifice became the only language of defiance. Pilots charged, knowing death awaited. And in that silence, hope flickered once more.
The battlefield fell silent for just a breath. The Titan loomed, wounded, but unbroken.
Its core burned brighter, consuming everything near.
One last strike was all that remained.
Pilots charged together, a final vow unspoken.
Light swallowed the Titan, and all within reach. When the dust settled, nothing stood. But from ashes, survivors crawled back to the light. They carried the names of the fallen in silence. And so humanity endured, scarred but unbroken. Aegis and the Titan Serpent finally faced each other. Claws and steel collided, shaking the world. Each strike carved the earth. Each roar split the sky. The Titan lashed its tail, leveling cities in its fury. The cockpit rattled, yet Aegis never faltered.
Blades! Blades to scale and shadow.
Every hit carried the weight of humanity's survival.
The Titan shrieked, a sound of pure hatred. Dark clouds cracked, lightning crowned the battlefield. The fight became a storm of blood and fire.
Steel bent, and bones nearly broke.
The Titan's fangs sank deep into Aegis's frame. Circuits screamed. Sparks became blood.
But the Titan faltered, its wounds bleeding light.
In its rage, it revealed its burning core.
The pilots knew this was the only chance. engines roared as Aegis charged one last time. Blades locked onto the Titan's core. The strike pierced. Light engulfed the battlefield.
Time itself seemed to hold its breath. In the silence, humanity saw hope reborn. The Titan's roar faded, swallowed by the void. But no victory comes without sacrifice.
And from the ashes, a new story began.
Thank you for watching the video. Please subscribe to the channel to see more great videos.